What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Lost Boy Skates podcast. I'm your host, Lost Boy Skates, and today I've got a very special guest at Tom Nuss 13. I really appreciate you jumping on today and just sitting down and talking with me about skateboarding. To give a little background, I met you, I want to say now, it was like 3-4 years ago at 7th Street, and I was trying to do a shove on the A-frame, and I kept eating shit because I kept doing this like nose dive. And you were like, dude, look, if you do this, your shove will do fine. And like literally next try I landed. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I've been doing shoves like forever. And this day, like I just kept fucking landing on the nose of the board and like falling forward and busting my ass. Like,
dude, that's so funny. I don't even fucking remember that.
Dude, my memory is sick.
No, I thought my memory is terrible. It's fucking awful. I'll just be perfectly honest. I thought, because I was thinking about this the other day, I was like, pretty sure we first met at the new Wilmington Park.
Nah, so
like right after it opened, I think.
No,
that's the memory that I have, but I could be completely wrong. But I'll take your word for it.
Dude, my memory is sick. But like I'm really good with like faces. I'm not so great with names. Like I'm awful with names, but faces, like I can always picture where I met somebody. But I do know that there was a period of time where we didn't see much of each other because I used to go to 7th all the time, and then I stopped because I stopped working in Wilmington. And so I would go down Newark. So I know after Wilm was built, then, we started running each other there too. So like there's definitely a period of time where we didn't have a whole lot of contact outside of like social media and shit.
Sure.
But
that's just the way it goes. I mean, that's the way it goes in the adult skateboarder life.
When you're a parent too, dude, like
it gets busy. Yeah. I mean, you run into each other at the park and it's like, oh fuck, dude, I haven't seen you in 8 months or whatever it's been.
Right. So tell me, what got you into skateboarding?
Oh God. So I got into it pretty early. I grew up in Delaware County, and the first few years of my life were kind of in this kind of sketchy like apartment complex, and with all these like rabid kids just like running around all over the place, and they had all kinds of shit, man. Like they had skateboards, they had bikes, they had scooters, go-karts, like all this gnarly shit. And so like I kind of got introduced to the idea of a skateboard pretty early. But at that age, when I'm like 4 or 5 years old, to me it's just it's just a vehicle. It's just a thing to get from point A to point B. I didn't know the whole scope of it back then, right? So fast forward into like when I was about 7. So this is like 1991. Like this is probably the most important day of my youth. It was like spring or summer of 91, and we had moved to a new house, and my neighbor across the street was a skater. And I walked outside the one day, and him and all his friends had a quarter pipe in the middle of the street because we lived on a dead end street. So they just had a quarter pipe set up in the middle of the street. Like him and 4 of his friends, like they were a lot older than me. I was probably, I'm like 7 at this point.
Okay.
And, him and 4 or 5 of his friends are just ripping up this quarter pipe, like doing tricks, like just simple shit, like, rock the fakie, rock and roll, feebles, axle stalls, like all this shit. But like, I sat there and watched it. It just blew my fucking mind because I didn't know that you could like do tricks on a skateboard at that point, So I just thought it was just like something, I thought a skateboard was something that you would just like throw on the ground, sit on it, and just like, maybe bomb a hill or push down the street. Like I didn't know any of that shit was possible. And I remember sitting there just watching these guys skate and do these tricks on this quarter pipe, and my brain was just completely blown. It changed me forever. And it's funny because like I've always like music and skateboarding have always gone like hand in hand with me. So like that day when they were outside skating, they had a boombox outside, and they were listening to Anthrax, Persistence of Time.
Okay.
And it was like the first time I've ever heard like a thrash metal record, and it's the first time I ever saw anyone do like a trick on a skateboard. And like in that exact moment, like I'm telling you, I remember this day like it was fucking yesterday. In that exact moment, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to listen to heavy metal, and I want to fucking learn how to skateboard. Like I just made up my mind right there, and that was it. And shortly after that, at the time I had this like I had a really shitty skateboard. I had like it was like a Veriflex board. I remember it was like, I think it was like green and purple, and it had like really rusty ass wheels and just like shoddy bearings, and like you would push and only go like 10 feet at the most. You know what I mean?
Well,
I started skating with these.
You sent me the picture of the fishtail board, and I was like, okay. I was like, he's really taking it back.
Yeah. I mean, so that was in '92.
Mm-hmm.
That was a New Deal Mike Vallely board.
Nice.
That was like my second. That was like my second pro board in '92. But excuse me, I remember I was kind of like bitching to my mom, saying like, "Hey, you know, I'm like trying to push around with these guys in the street and try to keep up with them, but like my wheels just won't work, just won't roll right." And she was like, "Okay," and then she like immediately took me to Fairman's in Westchester, because at that time, I mean, that was basically the only skate shop around. So for us, you know, it's like a half-hour drive out to Westchester, and that's where I got my first pro board.
Nice. Do you remember what model it was?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been looking for this deck for like, I don't know, 15 years, and I can't find it. It was a Jeff Hartzell World Industries deck, and I think it was his second pro model for World. The graphic was it was a tree. It was like a neon orange and green tree on the bottom, and it had like some water and shit. I've always been in, I don't know, I've always been into like neon colors and stuff. So like that was one of the things that was like on the wall, and I was like, oh, that looks fucking rad. I'm gonna get that. So I grabbed that, and then I bought a set of, or I didn't buy anything. My mom bought a set of Venture trucks, and I had like a classic. I got a classic pair of like Spitfire wheels, and that was my first pro setup.
Okay. Yeah, like
I remember I had this is fucking embarrassing, but I remember like I was super nervous walking into that place. By the way, I was like 8 years old at the time or some shit like that. I like walking into a skate shop, and there's all these like, you know, all these fucking skater dudes, and they're all punk as shit. Like, I was nervous walking into that place, but I remember they were really cool, and they treated me well. So it was like. But yeah, I remember I like totally cooked it out. I got like clear grip because I liked the dumbass design that was on the top of the board. And I was like, I don't want to cover that up. And they were like, oh, well, we have clear grip. And I was like, oh, well, fuck yeah, I'll take clear grip. But yeah, that was my first pro setup. Yeah.
My buddy Bobby used to get clear grip for every one of his boards. For whatever reason, he just had an obsession with the clear grip.
I can't do it now.
And I wanted to like slap him because like it would just drive me nuts, because I don't even like having cutouts on my grip, because it like I have like severe ADD. So it's like, that's going to draw my attention instead of like trying to do the trick. So like, I just need that standard like grip on there.
Yeah. I've always kind of like, I can't do clear grip. Like it needs to be black, just because I always try to have something bright on the bottom. So like when you're flipping your board, you know, like if you're looking, like you know when the bottom is facing you, and then when you see that flash of black, then it's like, all right, like
it's time to catch it.
You know what I mean? Right. So that's always been, I don't know, that's always helped me. I can't skate clear grip or like, you know, graffiti fucking grip. There's no way. I would never let that kid flip ever, which is like hard enough at this fucking age.
So what's your current setup like?
My current setup, right now I'm riding a 8.5. It's a crossover. It was like a kinetic shop deck. It was one of the ones that they did with Zero for Halloween.
Okay.
It's got like the old school like Halloween logo on the bottom with like the fucking jack-o'-lantern and the knife and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that 8.5 Crux, which I've skated Crux, I think, since that company's existence.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had that pair. Well, so the first pair of trucks I had were those Ventures that I had with my first board, and then some like fucking crazy dude that lived down the street sold me a pair of Gull Wings.
Okay.
They were spray painted neon orange. They were the fucking best. I still miss those trucks to that day. I love those trucks. So I had the Ventures, I had the Gull Wings, and then after that, I'm pretty sure I went right to Crux.
Okay.
And I've never skated anything. I've never skated anything else. I've never skated indie. I've never skated, any of that shit. So I've been Crux forever. So yeah, 8.5 Crux, SML wheels, 53 millimeter, and right now I'm riding the Kevin Bockel signature Bronson bearings.
Okay.
Which are ridiculous. They're so good. They're so good. Like I was a huge like Lucky. Like I skated Luckies for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I skated. Well, that was like back in the day.
I was a Black Panther guy myself.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
I remember those. Yeah. Black Panthers were cool as shit. And then I skated Reds for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were kind of like a notch down. They weren't as expensive, but I never really had a problem with them. And then I don't know if they changed like manufacturers or something. All of a sudden, I just started having problems with them. I was like, I'm not like ollieing huge stair sets anymore, but I'm like blowing shields off and shit. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
That happens with tricks. Unfortunately, we got cut off, so like we missed all of that.
Oh, good. So you get to hear this all over again,
right, dude? I'm cool with it.
Yeah, my favorite trick, like far away, is just a pop shove.
Yeah,
just a giant, nasty, catch it super fucking high pop shove. That is like my favorite thing. Like visually watching that is insane, and like just the feeling of doing that too. Like when you catch a really good one, it's just the best feeling. So definitely a pop shove.
I mean, you definitely throw a lot of them too, and like I'm telling you, like they are definitely pretty decent. I love the fact that like you catch them most of the time before you even like hit the ground with the board. Like it's almost literally bolts, and then you like just roll away, and I'm just like, yes, please do another one.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this forever, so like I know that feeling. Like I want that board completely out from under me. And then I just want to kind of hit my feet and just, come down like that. It's just the best feeling. I fucking love pop shoves. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we also talked about your back nose slides with the shove out. Like they just look so good, especially when you get those long slides on the 7th Street marble ledges. Like you really get a really good slide, and then you get this nice shove out. And like I said, I had mentioned like your face just says it all. Like, fuck yeah, I just did something awesome.
Yeah, dude, they're super satisfying. I mean, they're really not that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, for some reason, I don't see a whole lot of people doing those. Like maybe it's like an old trick that no one does anymore. Like I have no idea. But there's just something about getting that, like locking in that nose slide and just giving it just a tiny kiss and let it go. And like, I don't know. Like there's something about it. It's just super satisfying. I absolutely love that trick.
I think the only people I ever see do them anymore is you, Mark, and Todd. Like legitimately, like.
Well, Todd does front nose shove.
Yes.
He does front nose shove. So Todd's basically like a mirror to me.
Mm-hmm.
Todd does everything front side that I do backside, and I do everything backside that he does front side. It's super fucking weird. So if you watch Todd skate, it's basically like watching me in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange. Yeah.
I do. So I can't do regular nose slides. I can only do them switch. And I don't know why I can do them switch. Like both front side and back side nose slides, I can do switch. Now, however, in switch, I can't.
I've never done a switch nose. Or no, I have done. I did do a switch nose in that last Junk Fang video. That's where I fucking smashed my hip.
But no, I know what you're talking about when you get that 6 slide with the no slide, like it's a really good feeling.
Yeah, like when you lock in, I mean, you're just going for a ride, right? And like it used to be, I used to, I would lock into that, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know if I was coming out fake. I didn't know if I was coming out regular. It would just depend on how like my body was kind of shifting. Like I don't know. I would just come up with an exit plan while I'm up there. Just like fuck it. Like I'll figure it out. Like I'll either come off fakey or come off regular. But then like throwing the shove in there, you just kind of have to almost lean back a little. You just lean back a little bit, and then just with your back foot, you just got to give it a kiss, just like, and then boom, and you're home.
I'd imagine it's similar to like I do a lot of the backboard shove out, and like when I do the shove, it's only like the tiniest little like flick of like getting it to shove.
They're hard though.
Yeah,
dude, they're hard.
So,
but it's not easy.
I imagine it's the same thing doing the nose slide with the shove out. It's just like it's not really a hard shove out. You're just kind of giving a nice little tiny flick.
It's very subtle. It's just very subtle, and like you land a clean one of those, dude, to make your fucking week.
We also talked about the like doing fakie tricks and like how pretty much like you'd love like the giant fakie ollies, like the nice little wave, but then level it out and then land.
Exactly. Dude, there's something about a fakie ollie. Like we were talking about, favorite tricks, pop shove for sure. But like, there's something about a motion of a fakie ollie. There's like you said, like there's that wave where you hit and it kind of levels out, and then you come like. There's such a weird motion to it. It feels really good. It looks really cool. Like there's just something about a fakie ollie that's just rad as fuck. Like, I just love it.
Have you done it on the A-frame at 7th Street ever?
Yeah.
That's like the most.
Yeah, it's fucking really cool. There's a clip of it's me, Mark, and TJ all doing fakie ollies in a row. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom.
How long ago was that?
Instagram somewhere. Maybe like a year.
Okay. I was gonna say if it was recent, I was like, I've missed this one. I'm gonna have to like stalk all of you and find.
It's definitely on there. It's definitely on there. It was fucking fun, man.
You guys do a lot of that though.
Trying to get like
the like trains of doing tricks.
Yeah. We like to barge an obstacle, man. Like if someone's trying something over something and they make it, like I'm grabbing my board and like I'm immediately trying to like back them up and follow it. Like, yeah, it's just kind of like a thing, but it's fucking super fun.
Oh yeah. Who's like your current like number one top favorite skater?
Piece of cake. Easiest question ever. Kevin Bockel from fucking Norway. Absolute savage on a skateboard. There's something about that dude. It's just his skating is just like primal. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, he throws like all caution to the wind. He's just super gnarly and just a really good fucking skater.
Like we had mentioned, he kind of reminds you of like a young John Cardiel in his prime, and just how fucking reckless he would get, and he would just throw his body into everything. Didn't matter how big or how small, he was going to make it like the next biggest trick.
Yeah, I mean, there's skaters like that to maybe the untrained eye just look reckless, and it's just like they don't know what they're doing, or I mean, but this guy's so fucking calculated. But it doesn't, it might not look that way just because the shit that he's doing is just so insane. Like that, I mean, if you go back and look at a couple of his video parts, it's fucking unbelievable. I mean, it's really unbelievable. Like I have a lot of skaters that I kind of nerd out on nowadays. But like probably the biggest one, like Milton Martinez is probably another one. I mean, a lot of the creature guys I really love.
Yeah.
I kind of like their style of skating.
A lot of
But
the
yeah, that's just kind of like recently.
like Creature, Anti-Hero, Zero, a, a lot of those teams are known for like just going straight balls to the walls, big gaps,
Yeah,
big
go
stair
big.
sets. Like, let me put my life on the line for this trick.
Yeah, and those guys have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it speaks volumes. I mean, those guys, they're not out there doing, the 50-50 on a curb. I mean, the shit that they do, I mean, could potentially fucking kill you.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
it's really inspiring and it's crazy to watch. Absolutely crazy.
It just makes you want to push it to that next level for yourself. Like, I I have like this little thing where like I can't watch them the same day. I like the day before I know I'm gonna go have a big sesh. I'll sit down and I'll watch some of like my favorite video parts and stuff, and just go ahead and just go.
What's your favorite video? What's
Ooh,
your favorite skate video of all time?
I always say it's Globe Opinion. It's a video from 2001. But
Yeah, I
like
remember it.
Chet Thomas just goes so big in it. Like all his stair sets are
He
huge.
skated. He skated for who? Dark Star.
Yep, he owns Dark Star.
Yeah. Oh,
So
get the fuck out.
yeah,
Okay.
so he owns Dark Star. He started it out with boards, went on to wheels, and then like the wheels kind of fell off because they went through that whole big recession. Like after like the
Yeah.
mid 2000s and stuff, like skateboarding kind of died
Yep.
sort of again for like the fifth time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's somebody that was just like in it. Him, Gershon Mosley goes huge. I think my favorite thing about Gershon is like he does this line, and then he didn't even have to end it the way he did, but he ends it with like a fakey shove over this ledge to like flat ground, and it's probably like a good 3-4 foot drop, but just the fact that he threw that in there and he didn't really have to. Most guys would have just stopped before they like continued that line.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he also
That's
does
cool.
this huge back crook across a cement barrier, and I mean it's huge. He ends up grinding like 6 of them, and just like casually pops off and
I
just
don't think I
rolls
remember
away.
that.
So,
Wow.
but that was also my first skate video that I ever saw. So, like I
Oh,
was
okay.
late to watching
Yeah.
skate videos. I had gotten that one from ECX back when ECX was like a skateboard shop, and
Yeah. Okay.
and then my buddy Bobby a few weeks later came with DGK's video, DC video, almost round 3, and Elementality, and we
Oh
like literally
shit.
had like a party like with all of our skater friends, and we watched all these videos together. And like on top of that, we'd watch a video.
That's a good bunch to learn from.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
we'd watch those, run out and go skate out front, come back, watch the next one. I mean, there must have been like 10 or 15 of
Isn't
us.
that so crazy? Isn't it so crazy? Like I had the same like situation when I was younger. Like I would watch a skate video at my house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be so fucking amped. Like as soon as it was over,
Mm-hmm.
I would just run upstairs, grab my board, and I'd be gone for like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I would start the day. Like it's so crazy how that translates.
Yeah, it would just get me super pumped up. Like now, if I watch it same day though, I get too pumped because like I'm not a young guy anymore. I don't have all that energy in the world. So like
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
watch the skate video, go try and like skate and kill it, and end up being like, okay, I got all my adrenaline was gone
Now I
after
can't
watching the
fall.
video.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
So,
get that.
what really gets you pumped up for skating?
Fuck, man. I really just I love watching people battle
Mm-hmm.
and also battling myself. Like I get off on that shit. Like I love that mental battle
Mm-hmm.
of like me trying to convince my brain that I can do something that it doesn't want to do.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that's my favorite part. I absolutely love that. So like, if if I think about a new trick that I want to try, for example, and you know, admittedly, I will lay in bed and seriously think about it for hours, and I'll sit there and think about where can I do this trick? How do I do it? How can I break it into parts so I can understand it and all that shit? I mean, I will really obsess about it before I even go out and try it. Like that's kind of like my process, and I just love battling a trick.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Like I just love digging my heels in and just saying like, okay, this might be out of my you know uh, stratosphere or whatever, but I'm gonna fucking try it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying it over and over, and like just the satisfaction of landing something after you tried it for an hour, 2 hours, 3 months. There's tricks that I battled for over a year, and I was just like, I'm not gonna fucking stop until I land it. I don't care. Like I know I can do it. Like I can visualize myself doing it. So like, why would I stop?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, for me, and it's always been this way. Like even when I was younger, even when I was in my teens and shit like that. If I can see myself doing it, then like to me, there's no reason why I can't. Like if I can visualize myself doing it, there's no reason why I can't do it. So I love that struggle, like that mental battle is awesome. But I also like watching other people go through that, right? And I also like helping them. Like, come on, dude, you fucking got this. Like, let's go. Get your shit together. Quit fucking around. Try something different.
Do you do a confidence booster trick?
Stuff. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple different lanes for that. Some people say like, go do another trick and come back to it. Like I've heard that a bunch of times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes when you're in the trenches, you just have to fucking get through it. You just gotta muddle through it. And I love being in that situation. Like I love being sore and tired and fucking angry, and just being like, dude, I'm not gonna stop until I go home with this flip. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I for whatever reason, I really do. I do love that aspect. I mean, not everyone does it. That shit's not for everybody. But,
I mean, I think a lot of skaters feel that way though. That they want to feel that battle, right? Because if you have a trick, right, and even if it's a trick you've done 1,000,001 times and you're trying it on something new that you've never done it on before. Last year when I did my video, I did a trick. It was the fakie 50-50 half cab out on the giant Glasgow ledge where it starts out at like 8 inches high, and then
dude, I remember that. That's a huge fucking drop to come off.
That was an entire year of. I mean, mind you, I was coming back from injury, but like that was an entire year of trying that over and over and over again. And I would just go, and that might be the only thing I try all day. And I finally, when I got that on film, that was the only time I've ever landed that, because I would just set up the camera and be like, all right, once I land this, I'm done with it. Like, I'm probably never gonna do this here ever again. And like, you hear me after I land tricks sometimes, I'm like, yeah, in the recording, and I'm like, fuck.
I never do that. I'm always like, I don't know.
You just stay stone faced.
Kind of like
like you
kind of like internalize.
Like your face says yes, but like out loud, you're not like, hell yeah, like you're not throwing your arms in the air or anything like that. You're just like, all right, I got it, sweet.
Yeah, I don't celebrate. Much.
Oh no.
If there's other people around and they're fucking stoked what I'm doing, I'll celebrate. But
yeah.
Most of the time, I'm just glad that it's over. Just like, thank God, man. Get me the hell out of here.
We have a really good community though at 7th and Wilmington, like where it doesn't matter who you are, how long we've known you. Like if you're trying something gnarly or if you're struggling with something, like we're always pushing each other. Like, and then like
Yeah,
as soon as you land it,
sure.
it doesn't matter if it's who it is. They're like, yes, dude, like awesome. Like you got the trick
Yeah.
finally. Like it's one of those feelings that I don't necessarily get at other parks all the time. But like I definitely know that our community is like really close knit and like again, you don't have to have known somebody for very long for you to be like, yo, dude, that was awesome. Like,
No, absolutely not. Like I love seeing somebody land something that they've been working on
mm-hmm,
or like dying for like, for at least as far as my eyeballs have seen, a half hour of them eating shit and then they fucking make it. Like, fuck
mm-hmm,
yeah, I'm gonna give you props. It's so sick. Like, I totally enjoyed watching you battle that. You fucking nailed it. That's the best.
mm-hmm.
There's no other better feeling. I mean, to me, at least, as the type of skateboarder that I am, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, that's the best. It's like the absolute best.
So let's jump to NVNM. Like that was, I was really sad to see NVNM come to an end. Like I think I have all but like three of the shirts, I think, and I had a hoodie, a beanie. Like, dude, I was stoked on it
Yeah,
because, it just had this like punk rock slash metal like feel to it. And I mean, I grew up as an emo kid, so I had the long hair, the tight pants and shit. But I would go to shows, and I loved watching like heavy bands play. I was definitely one of those kids that liked to go in the mosh pits. Fuck the two-stepping shit. I want to punch somebody in the face. That was me.
yeah. I mean, that was very much the intent early on when I was kind of putting that thing together. That was very much the intent. And dude, like first of all, like thank you for all the support. Like you and anyone else that supported NVNM, like bottom of my heart, totally appreciate it. That it was, I fucking love all you guys. Um, yeah, yeah, but that was very much my intent from the beginning. It was kind of, make it a little heavy metal, make it a little, kind of weird and esoteric, and kind of fuck with people a little bit. That was kind of my goal, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I wore the bondage one underneath my work shirt the other day, like as an undershirt. And I was like, I hope nobody
Yeah.
can see through my shirt right now. Like the first time I wore that, my wife was like, who the fuck's on your shirt? And I was like, it's cool. Like
Yeah,
relax, honey.
yeah, it's all good.
But
Don't worry about it.
but dude, like and then my first contest back, Winter Wagon 2023. There's a clip of me and you could see the MVNM emblem on my shirt
Oh
cuz
yeah, yeah.
I did the
Dude, I used
50-50
to get
shove
I
out.
used to get so fucking hyped. I would see your clips, like especially at like those contests.
Uh-huh.
Like I would see it all over the place, and I'd be like, "Oh fuck, man, it's got this fucking NVNM too." It's sick. Yeah, you were rocking that shit all
Dude,
over the place.
because I loved
I
it.
loved it.
Dude, those shirts, like
Loved
for me being a chunky dude, and they were like pretty form fitting though. Like I actually really liked them because like trust me, I've worn some tight shirts and I'm like I look like a stuffed sausage, but those shirts like just fit so well. I still wear my MVNM hat like all the time. Just
it.
I just it was one thing like I always said that when I'm skating, if I'm doing events or something like that, I'm gonna support my friends, or guys that I know and whatnot. Like I did the same for First State Skate Supply. Like I love James and
Yeah,
what he does down there. Um, so it's like and I still wear the MVNM shirts out now. Like just because it's over with doesn't mean like I'm done with it because I like it was
yeah.
one of my favorite things and so kind of
Appreciate it, man.
how did you really get started with that?
Oh, so it was the pandemic season. It
Okay.
was like right when the pandemic hit and everything shut down, and I'd been kicking ideas around about doing a company. I mean, this was shit that I used to like, fantasize about when I was like 10. You know what I mean? I would draw. I would just draw a blank T-shirt and
Mm-hmm.
like a page in my school book, And then like I had a bunch of fake companies back in the day. Like I want to make a company like this, and then I would make designs and shit like that. And I mean, finally, like during COVID, like I couldn't find a reason not to do it. Like before that, I could always find a reason not to.
So you made the
It's just
jump.
like, well, like it's just not, it's not the right time. I don't have the capital behind it. And then, the pandemic hits, everything's shut down. You're stuck in your house for fucking months at a time, and it's just like I have all the time in the world right now. I'm sitting around doing nothing. I might as well fucking do something. Like I have to be creative somehow. And so I just said, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna start the company, and that's what I did.
So, and then things seem to go, pretty okay for you. You were around for a bit, and then what led to shutting it down?
It just became it became a choice, which I had a problem with. It required a lot of time. Like not it wasn't a whole ton of effort because like designing and shit like that all came very fluidly. That all came like really quick. I was working with my friend Ken Adams on all the designs and all this shit. And he was a huge proponent to that, and I thank Ken for all that. Fucking Ken Adams is the greatest fucking dude ever. If you don't know who Ken Adams is, Ken Adams designed every Lamb of God album cover.
Okay, that's wild.
In their existence, he's done all their artwork, and he's a local dude. He's from Delaware. He's just the absolute fucking best, and I got introduced to him, and him and I kind of hit it off, and we just went on this insane, fucking crazy, like creative touring together. But yeah, he was a huge proponent to all that, and so yeah, big shout out to Ken. He's the fucking best. But yeah, I mean that's kind of how it all started, and then just kept the ball rolling for a while, and then it came to a point where time was getting short, right? Having a family, a job,
mm-hmm.
and trying to go skate and do the shit that I want to do. I couldn't give it the attention that it needed, and I didn't want to half-ass it, right? Like I'm not going to do a half-ass job at this company. So, and then the other aspect of it was economical. It was basically, the prices of the stuff that I wanted to make were getting so expensive that I couldn't just assume that a consumer would be able to like easily, pull the trigger on a $35 or $40 t-shirt.
Right.
But I promised myself in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to print on shit. Like I'm going to get everything done at a local print shop, and I got all the shit that I had done was done at Skateboarding Clothing in Wilmington.
Okay.
And those guys are absolute legends at what they do. They do not fuck around there. They make the best shit. So like I wanted the best printing, I wanted the best material, and it came down to like, okay, well, like if you want this is what the price is going to be. Or it's just like I can't fucking do that.
Right.
But I'm not going to cheap out. I'm not going to cheap out and be like, okay, well, just print it on this, and I'll give someone a lesser quality product. Like I'm not going to do that. So I would rather quit and put that shit to bed than expect somebody to be like, okay, like I'll buy this half-ass t-shirt. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I'm just going to put it on the shelf for now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect for that because not many companies would say, "Oh, I'm going to shut down because I'm giving you a shit product," right? Look, and every one of those t-shirts I've had, I think I got my first one in 2021. It was all black with a red NVNM across the top, and that was the first one I got. And so that shirt still holds up, no holes. Like the NVNM emblem across it is not even like fucking nothing. Like it's not even cracking or anything. Like that. I have shirts like that I just got not long ago that are already cracking. Like I have a World Industry shirt that I got a while back, and it's like almost all gone. So like to have like a
Yeah,
good quality product with what you had going for you,
I believe it. Yeah,
um,
I've
it's
had the
impressive.
same thing happen to me. Like, and when I started that company, I remember specifically having a conversation with Ken saying like, I don't want to print on shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want it to last. I want it to be absolutely just a killer product. I'm not going to sell people bullshit. And yeah, when it got to the point where it was just like, you can either sell junk or you can sell nothing. I'm just like, I'm not going to sell anything. I don't care. I wasn't in it for the money. It was more of a creative outlet than anything. So I just said, fuck it, man. I'm just going to hang it up for now.
Yeah, I remember the day that you posted on Instagram that you were closing up shop, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like